Hi, my name is Anant and I welcome you to the latest edition of 22 Yards. आज मैं आपसे बात करूंगा अपने सबसे फेवरेट प्लेयर की, अपने चाइल्डहुड हीरो कपिल देव साहब की, and I will recall his finest test batting out. It was 1992. India had gone to South Africa. South Africa had just ended the racial and venal policy of apartheid and were coming out of the ban that was imposed on them since 1970. It was a historic series since South Africa would be readmitted after 22 years in the wilderness into the test cricketing community, and India became the first side to South Africa. It was a 4-test series. Most of the test matches in this series were insipid and boring. It was the third test match actually that India lost, and South Africa won the series 1-0. It was in this test match that Kapil Dev played what I believe is one of his greatest innings, if not his greatest innings, and one of the greatest innings played by any batsman in the history of Test cricket. India had scored 215 runs in the first innings. South Africa replied with 275, where Hansi Cronje got 135 runs in 400 odd balls. It was a dogged innings which placed South Africa ahead of India. So India started the third innings 60 runs behind. And soon the innings was in tatters. India were 27 for 5 when Kapil Dev walked into bat. And soon Ravi Shastri's 5-run innings in 68 balls ended and India was reduced to 31 for 6. This is where Kapil Dev started to bat for India. He was given valiant support by Kiran More, Manoj Prabhakar and Anil Kumble. Each of these batsmen scored 17 runs each. Kapil Dev on his own scored 129 runs of 180 balls at a remarkable strike rate of 72, and he got 129 runs of a total of 215 that India was able to manage in this innings before he became the last batsman that was dismissed. Now 129 runs out of 215 is 60% of the team score. I generally follow a rule that any time a batsman scores 50% or more of a completed test innings, you know that you have seen a great innings. But when you see someone score more than 60% of a team score, you know that you have seen something that is once in a decade kind of an inning. And it is something that has always worked for me as a parameter to judge an innings. So Kapil Dev got 129 out of 215, which was 60%. He got them at a remarkable pace. He had to bat fast because he was running out of partners. And he gave India a lead of 150. I actually feel that this innings is every bit as good as Ian Botham's 149 in the Headingley Test. Just that there was no Bob Willis to win the day for India. South Africa had the pacey Alan Donald leading their attack, and he ended up with 12 wickets in this test match. He was partnered by the left-handed Brett Schultz, who was himself a dangerous fast bowler and a bowler that Alan Donald called the most intimidating bowler that he had ever played with or against. The support cast of Omar Henry, Macmillan and Matthews was very good in their own condition. Over and above, they were led in the field by Jonty Rhodes, who was once in a generation fielder, and South African fielding at that time could easily be argued was the best in the world. So it was an innings that was scored against a total team led by a fierce captain in Hansi Cronje, fierce and canny captain in Hansi Cronje. I've often wondered why Kapil's innings has remained underappreciated and forgotten. There are a few reasons for it. The first one being that whenever we talk of his batsmanship, the overarching conversation, the overarching innings that is always spoken about is his 175 not out scored against Zimbabwe when India were down 17 for 5 in the 1983 World Cup. I have no doubt that it was his most influential innings as it changed India's course in that World Cup as well as it changed India's future in a game in one-day cricket where we were complete laggards. But this innings suffered nothing in comparison to that innings. Unlike Ian Botham's innings, which was played at home, it was played in foreign conditions. It was played against a terrific attack and was played at remarkable pace. The second reason being that during the 1990s, an Australian and Pakistani construct started to emerge that we need to only celebrate innings, test innings that resulted in a win. I think this was a selfish argument because the Australians and Pakistanis had the best bowling attacks, and every time their batsmen put up 100, the bowlers were there to do the job. Just like Ian Botham's 149 not out, which in itself was a great innings, but without Bob Willis's 8 for 43, it would not have been possible for England to have won that game. I would like to end by saying that Kapil Dev was kind of player that you wanted on your side when all seemingly was lost. That is where his star shone the brightest. This is Anand signing off from this edition of 22 Yards. Till next time, see you soon.